I handle the traps. You follow me. What's the last thing you did for the environment?
When's the last time you stole a jewel?
Girl, please. I'm never not stealing jewels.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to DC Daily. I'm Clark Wolf, and today I'm staying home with Hector Navarro and Sam Levine. Hi, guys.
Hey!
Hi.
It's so fun being at home together this way.
At home, safely together. It's our compromise. So today we're recapping Harley Quinn episode 3, Trapped. So before we get into Harley, it's Joker week on DC Universe.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, every week is Joker week if the Joker had his way.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I personally love that he is out of Harley's life for now. But friends at home, go check out dcuniverse.com for some fun Joker content. And before we get into why I think Kite Man is actually a good guy, which I've thought all along, Sam Levine. Don't even say it.
Someone go through those old archives.
Here's what we have on deck for you this week on DC Daily. Okay, friends, let's talk Harley. So in this week's episode, Harley wants to break into Mr. Freeze's neighborhood, and his goons inadvertently tell her the item that she needs. And so Harley enlists the help of Catwoman to steal the flamethrower that she needs. So let's talk about Catwoman, and let's talk about how she plays into this whole episode.
We have been doing I don't want to say a deep dive into Catwoman, but we recently watched the Halle Berry movie, and we've been talking about all the various versions of Catwoman there is. So I feel like I was kind of Catwoman prepped. I was in a Catwoman state of mind to watch this episode, and I was so surprised at how much I love this depiction of Catwoman. I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense that they are able to have her do the comic book stuff that we're used to seeing her doing, but they were giving these great almost psychoanalysis of the character of Selina Kyle in a way that fits in line with what the Harley Quinn animated series has been doing. And I loved everything about this Catwoman. The voice acting, the look, the design, the humor that she was able to engage in. I thought it was fantastic.
I couldn't agree with you more. Sanaa Lathan did the voice for this Catwoman, who is a woman of color herself, as was this Catwoman, as is the Catwoman maybe nearest and dearest to my heart, Eartha Kitt. So
good.
I love she was the voice behind it because she's a wonderful actress. And knowing that, we're getting this version of Catwoman again in this world that we love so much made me very happy. And it was quite a thing to watch how Ivy responded to Catwoman. And she at first she was like, no, I don't like her. I don't know. There's something weird happens when she's around. And then she fell right into that trap again.
So obviously the focal point was in season 1, Harley and Joker's relationship and some of the toxic things that come out of that type of relationship. But in season 1, we obviously examine Harley and Ivy's relationship. And now kind of furthering that, for me, female friendships can get into that weird competition thing, and it just was so wow, this show is so deep. There are so many layers, and of course it's hilarious.
Yeah, that scene at the table at the brunch table, especially what Sam was mentioning, when Selina is just the coolest person ever. And Harley goes, Ivy, she just stole your jacket. Yeah, I know, but it looks better on her anyway, right? Those little moments it was almost too real, because I'm watching it and I'm going, man, I have felt this way in high school, you know what I mean? Just always feeling like you're trying to be a follower to somebody that you might admire a lot, and you're blind to see the bad stuff that they're doing. And it also just felt so true to Selina Kyle, where I was like, yeah, if Selina Kyle were a real character in Gotham, a real city, then she would probably have to have that vibe about her for her to be able to get away with all the stuff she gets away with. So it was so brilliant that the show was able to do that.
We delved into a lot of, again, season 1, we delve into Harley's psyche, literally. But here we are in season 2, we're spending a lot of time with Poison Ivy, and we're spending a lot of time like learning about her, not only through her relationship with Harley and not only through her relationship with Catwoman, but we had some big stuff with Ivy's relationship with Kite Man in this episode. I know some of our fellow cast members have been a little wishy-washy on if we like him or not. Not me. This is not a Wade, Mr. Potato Head situation.
Come on, DC Daily fans, do some digging. Prove the flip-flop here.
I will say that whether or not we liked him in the beginning or not, the show is really going out of its way to make Kite Man earn the audience's affection and make sure that he is good enough for our Ivy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think a key to that was to see him change in Harley's eyes, because we love Harley and she's the lead character, and however she feels about the other characters is something that she's going to like vocalize. And as we're watching the show, we're going to, you know, agree with her and see her perspective and point of view. So for her, as Ivy's BFF and only F, for her to even like flip on how she sort of felt, I think that she might feel, or at least this is how I'm feeling about it. I still think that Kite Man is nowhere near good enough for Poison Ivy, but Kite Man, for who he is as a person, as a guy, as a character, is like trying his best when he's with Ivy. Like, I don't know if Kite Man knows his limitations. Sometimes it feels like he even does. Like, he understands that he's not worthy of being with Poison Ivy, but the effort that he puts into it is very admirable. And in this episode, I mean, he went through hell with all those traps to get that ring that was not even Poison Ivy's style. But it's the thought that counts. It's the effort. So that was really cool to see. And I just like, I don't know where the show is going to go. That proposal now being, what is it, the third time? Is this the third time he's asked her? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I want the best for Ivy, but sometimes I feel like for as cool as Poison Ivy is as a character, that she still has a lot of like figuring out to do.
Growing, you might say.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know what made you would think that word. No, I would say evolving.
Here's how I feel about the whole thing. Those of us who can definitely, positively say they've been Team Kite Man since minute 1. I mean, look, I'm glad that Harley came around to liking Kite Man, but it bums me out that, you know, earlier in the episode, she was telling Ivy that, oh no, he's not good enough for you. You could do better than that, blah, blah. And then only because she was basically forced to spend this one-on-one time with him and actually be forced to see how much he cares about Ivy, did only then she come around. It wasn't good enough for her that her friend was like, no, I like this guy. He's really good to me. We have a really good relationship. Please trust me on this.
And isn't it interesting that Ivy can say that, or rather, isn't it interesting that Harley can say that? And yet Harley's coming out of maybe the most toxic relationship in comics. So there's this level of like, okay, but how can you recognize when things aren't great in other, you know, but it's like, that's how we are.
Because yes, you can always spot that stuff in another relationship. You can't see it in your own, obviously.
But in actuality, there was no problem with the Kite Man Ivy relationship, as opposed to the enormous problem that was in the Harley Joker relationship. Right. So
Kite Man, look, you know.
Did you just go ultrasonic there on me?
I think I did. Listen, Batsam, if you know me in real life. You know I love a handsome, lovable doofus. So you're not to try to tell me anything about Kite Man. But let's also just say that maybe Ivy could do a little better in the beginning, but he has proven himself, and you know that's what friends are for. That's if Harley wasn't doing that, then I think we have a problem. Because
I agree. I guess I'm saying then I want Harley to do that as Ivy's friend. I just wish the conversation had been framed with, Ivy, I just need to make sure that you're happy with Kite Man and he treats you well and it's everything you want in a relationship, as opposed to, girl, you're better than him. Jump that loser.
Okay, with all the snaps. I come down.
She snapped a lot. She snapped a lot.
All right. Well, in addition to our beloved love triangle here, we had the introduction of Dr. Trap. So most of the episode takes place inside the museum on Free Museum Day, which is again just so good.
Top-notch writing.
This was my first introduction to Dr. Trap, and I have to tell you, I loved his design. He was cool and scary looking.
Yeah, this is also the first time I had ever heard of the character of Dr. Trap, and this is a credit to the creators of the show. Not once did I think this was a character they made up. I, never having heard of this character, instantaneously knew, oh, this is a deep cut. This is some obscure pull of a character from some comic. Again, this is the team that brought you Queen of Fables, which I had already known about. So I'm like, yeah, this does not surprise me that they're going to go to those DC catacombs to pull out this character to let us know about Dr. Trap. Yeah, his design was something else. I'd almost wish that when I looked up the character design to see what he looks like in the comic books, I'd almost wish that they changed him even further. Because when he first appeared, I don't know if you guys had this, but I was, he was shrouded in the shadows. I'm like, is that the Joker? Is that? And I think it was a combination of he's got the chalk white skin, and because it had that Alan Tudyk, sound.
Also, I think Alan Tudyk and Kite Man were the voices of the two goons on top of the ice tower as well. I loved this Dr. Trap character for so many reasons. What I love is how you, Hector, instantly knew, oh, this must be a super deep cut character. And of course, I would not know that because I don't know anywhere near the amount of deep cut characters that you do. But that's one of the other things that I love so much about this show is even if you're just a casual fan, even if you just know, oh, Harley Quinn, yeah, she's a female bad guy. And like, that's all you knew. This show would be so insanely fun for you to watch. But also, if you are a diehard fan who loves all the deep cut stuff, a Hector Navarro, an Amy Dallin, if you will, then the minute you see those characters, you're like, oh my god, oh wow, I never thought I'd see a Dr. Trap in animated form in anything. So this show has something for everyone. And no, it was a really fun character. Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
The best.
Amazing.
And I kind of hope we see Dr. Trap again.
He fixes his trap and we see him again. That's how I felt with season 1 when I was like, wait, are we getting Maxie Zeus? Wait, he's voiced by Will Sasso? I was the happiest for this obscure DC villain. So yes, I have had that feeling already watching the show. And I will probably continue to have that feeling, I'm sure.
So which one of these arch nemesises would you want to be your quarantine buddy?
I want to say King Shark, but because I love Ron Funches and I love King Shark's vibe in this show. But I'm also terrified because I feel like at any moment he could bite my hat off, literally. This dude's been to prison. This dude is tough.
Well, I'm once again going to go with Bane. But it's only Bane from this world. Voiced by James Adomian, the most adorable, mild Bane we've ever had, who's getting picked on. And I get the feeling he runs a very hygienic personal space.
That's a good call. So
that's very important now more than ever.
I was also going to say Dr. Psycho because I think he can be really cool and funny, but I live in a house with women. The second he said the C word, he's out of here.
That's right.
He's out of here.
But on the pro side, he is a doctor.
Right.
So if anything, kind of,
Yeah, that's true. And he can lift things with his mind.
Yeah, so you don't have to touch anything.
Yeah. I'd be like, hey, we got a package on the front porch. Psycho, you want to get this? I got this. I'll do it. Yeah. Wipes it down, brings it in.
I'm going to go Frank the Plant. Because I've gotten really into having live plants around my apartment. Also, I like to think of myself as a lady version of Larry David in some ways. So really, it would just be like, we'd be acting out Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Now I want to see that show, Clark.
Me too. Anytime. Yeah. JB Smoove, anytime. Let's do it. You and me.
I crack up every time we see the back of Frank the Plant, and he has a little butt. They've drawn a butt. It's the funniest little detail of the show. I love it. It's so good. I
only noticed that for the first time this week. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, Frank's got a butt. All right. Well, before this gets any weirder, that's going to do it for us today. But you can keep the fun going by catching up on all of these episodes of Harley Quinn, the animated series on DC Universe. All right, friends, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.